Alright everyone, welcome back to another video, and today what I have for everyone is my full review of the CMF Watch Pro 2. So I've been using this watch for a good amount of time, literally about a week shy of a month, and I feel like I've gathered all my thoughts and opinions on it, and that's what I'm going to share with everyone today in today's full review. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to let you guys and gals know which smartwatch I actually recommend that you pick up depending on the money that you have to spend, right? So we're going to do a real quick comparison to the Apple Watch SE here and why I think one watch is better over the other or vice versa, okay? So with that being said, without further ado, let's dive into today's full review. Now, starting off here, let's talk about the overall build quality and design of the CMF Watch Pro 2. Now, build quality wise, this watch is built out of aluminum and Super AMOLED technology in terms of the display. So you have a all aluminum body. It's painted in this dark gray, right? And then you have your sensors on the back, right? Then you have your quick release pins for the band. But in terms of the build, it's an all aluminum body. Okay? And then in terms of the display, we have a Super AMOLED display here. This is a 1.32 inch Super AMOLED display. Okay? Also, in terms of the design, this watch right here has a more traditional circular watch design. So this is like a circular traditional smartwatch, all right? So that's what we have in terms of the build, and that's also what we have in terms of the design. And this little circular plate here is actually added protection for the main unit of the watch itself. Now you're supposed to be able to like hold and twist and pop this off, and then be able to change out these face plates. But I wasn't going to go invest in additional face plates, and I'm not going to fight with it to try and twist it off. I do like the added protection, however, and honestly, that protective face plate has been clutch, okay, because I am an extremely clumsy individual. But that fully goes over the entirety of the design, and that fully goes over the entirety of the build. And I gotta say, in terms of the overall build quality and design, CMF have done a top-notch job here. Okay? And I do like how they went with a more traditional looking watch for their second generation. It's really, really nice. This is something very, very similar to something like the Samsung Galaxy Watch Classic, which is one of my favorite watches of all time. So that is really, really nice. Okay? So again, if I was unclear in terms of the overall build quality and design, CMF did a top-notch job right here. Now, moving on, let's talk about the overall fit and feel of the smartwatch, okay? Now, I'm kind of biased because I did go out there and find my absolute favorite watch band for the smartwatch, and that's what I've been rocking since I finished the video. This Nylon breathable Velcro third-party watch band from Lamshaw. This is actually one of my favorite styles of watch band, and so much so I went out and found a similar style watch band for my Apple Watch SE. All right, but talking about the overall fit and feel of the included first-party watch band, it was good, but I did notice over time that it did that silicone rubber material in the original watch band did over time aggravate my skin, and my skin is actually very sensitive. But overall, that fit and feel of the original first-party watch band was good, okay? But if you're willing to invest in a nice third-party watch band, your overall fit and feel should be top-notch. And the really cool thing about the fit and the feel is that the CMF team decided to integrate the more traditional 22 millimeter lug style bands. Okay, so any 22 millimeter band will work with this smartwatch. And in particular, if you make sure that they have the quick release pins, then you should have no issues. Okay, and I could tell y'all from the watch bands that I've tested, it has been a little bit difficult to install and remove, but it has worked without issues. So that addition of the 22 millimeter traditional lug style on the watch bands and the quick release pins, that makes the overall fit top notch, because you can legit go out and find any watch band you would like. And all of the watch bands that I've tested on the prior generation and the newer ones that I've got for the new generation worked without issue. Okay, so the overall fit and feel, in my opinion, again, CMF has done a top-notch job here. Okay, now let's take a second and let me take this off to give y'all a better look. Let's take a second now to go over all of the hardware aspects and all of the software aspects, including the features and the companion application for the CMF Watch Pro 2. Now, I've covered all the aspects of the software in previous videos, but every video is the potential to be somebody's first video, and y'all know my full reviews are meant to be one-stop shopping, so I gotta cover everything in the full review for all the new people and that want to know everything that they may potentially be picking up or running into if they decide to pick up the CMF Watch Pro 2. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into this next extensive category of the review. Let's start off with the hardware. Okay, now in terms of the RAM and the storage, try as I might, I could not find that information anywhere. But the hardware that I was able to find for the watch, I did have it, and then we're going to run down through it. So we already talked about the display in glancing detail. This is a 1.32 inch circular Super AMOLED display. Okay, this does have always on display technology. Okay, and that is a really nice feature. And in particular, when we talk about the resolution, it has a resolution of 466 by 466, giving it a screen density of 353 pixels per inch. And it has a peak brightness of 620 nits. Okay, and it is fully waterproof with an IP68 waterproof rating, so you can fully submerge this watch in up to a meter of water for 30 minutes and you should be good to go. Okay, other than that, we do have our heart rate sensor. We do have our O2, our blood oxygen sensor. We do have a built-in GPS. We also do have a built-in microphone, which gives you the ability to make and receive phone calls. We are packing Bluetooth 5.3 on this smartwatch right here, and it does have a 305 milliamp hour battery. Okay, so in terms of the hardware, that's all the information that I was able to gather right there. Okay, and I gotta say, this overall is some top-notch hardware. Okay, top-notch indeed. Now, in terms of the software, we have a custom UI designed by CMF on the watch, and then we have a really nice, let me show you, companion application also fully designed by CMF. Now, as of the recording of this video, which is September 22nd, I am running the latest software on the watch, and I am running the latest software for the app. I'll have the screenshot of the app software thrown up in post for y'all to check out. But talking about the software on the watch, I really do like this layout for the software and the navigation, right? So if you swipe up, you're going to get access to all of your notifications, and I'll gray out sensitive information here, okay? And you can tap on it to get a bigger readout of it, but, and let me show y'all this, okay? So if we go in here, you can't respond to it. This is a shout out to the Telegram group that I'm a part of. So you can see these notifications and you can read them, but you can't respond to it. Okay? To actually respond to it, you will have to pick up your device and respond to it. And that is the first issue that I have. You have a built-in microphone. Why not give us the ability to respond via our voice with the built-in microphone? Or even further still, why not give us the ability to use a software integrated keyboard for swiping or a software microphone so we can respond to these messages? Okay, so CMF, that's definitely the first thing I would like to see improved here in regards of the software. But in terms of the software, you can swipe up for your notifications, okay? You swipe down for your quick toggles, okay? And you can tap into the settings and fully adjust these, okay? You swipe left and right to go through your tiles, okay? And these tiles are fully adjustable inside of the application, okay? And you can indeed make full phone calls on here, and I've made a few. And you can sync up your contacts on here as well. And you swipe left or right to go back, or you can press the crown button to go home. Alright? So really, really nice software here, in my opinion. And once you start using it, it literally becomes second nature here. And then if you want to adjust certain settings, we swipe down to our quick toggles, and we hit the gear settings icon, and you can adjust certain settings. So you can adjust certain watch faces and do certain edits to different watch faces, and you could change your watch faces, okay? And then once you change it, you press the crown to select it, and you're good. Also, you can go in here and go into the settings and change your app layout. So by default, when you tap the crown and tap the crown, you have your app layout in this nice little list, okay? But if you want, you can have your app layout in a grid, right? So if we go home now and we tap the crown again, now I got the app layout in a nice little grid, okay? Now, you can get notifications for all your applications on the watch, but in terms of installing applications on the watch, you can't really install different applications on the watch. All you have is access to the pre-loaded applications that are loaded on the watch, okay? So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that, okay? Now, I'm more of a list person, so I always keep mine in the default list view. So we can put that back. And now we're back on the list view. And then also in the settings, you can adjust the things for your display, like your brightness. Alright. So you can have it on automatic, or you can customize it. Then you can do your different display timeouts. So you have up to 20 seconds on auto timeout and up to 20 minutes on customized timeout. Alright. Then you can control your always on display and set your different always on displays. Then we have double tap to wake. Okay. And we also have raise to wake. And then also in here, we do have some other gestures as well. But going through the display settings, this is where we run into my next major issue here. Okay? In regards to the display settings, the auto timeout setting always overrides the custom timeout setting. So let's say if there was an instance where I wanted the display to be on longer, yes, I'm okay with sacrificing battery life, but after one run of having the auto display timeout that I set up, the custom auto display timeout, it will default back to the automatic 20-second timeout, and I feel like it shouldn't do that. Once you set up something custom, it should stay there until you decide to turn it off or turn it on or change it. So CMF, that's another aspect of the software I feel you guys and gals need to fix. Okay? And we're going to leave it on the 20-minute display custom timeout that I set. So let's get out of that. And then you do have access to all your always on display features. Okay? And this is a feature that I really like here that I always keep turned on. This is wake up the display when you get a notification. So outside of this video, I had mine set to 1% brightness. I had it set to the 20-minute display timeout with a 20-second auto display timeout. And I also had the raise to wake turned off, but I had the wake on notification turned on, and that's actually how I was actually able to get the best battery life with this smartwatch. We're going to talk about battery life and charging a little bit later on in the video. Okay? But that goes over some of the other display aspects that you can go over with the smartwatch. Okay? And then in here, you can see we do also have access to, it's giving me my notification. I don't need to see that right now. We do also have access to different quick gestures that you can customize, and they do have a nice gesture guide. Now, I'm not good with gestures on smartwatches, so I don't use this, but it is here, and if you take the time to learn it, it should serve you well. Then we got the haptic strength for the vibration motor. We also got do not disturb. We got the sound for the speaker, okay? And the speaker in here is actually very loud, okay? Get out of this. Then we also have workout detection, right? And I keep this turned on as well. But, and this was another issue that I kept running into, the workout detection, at least for me, it kept detecting the wrong workout. And then I had to go and change it, right? So there were instances where I was in the gym and I'm walking on the treadmill and it thinks it's detecting a cycling workout. Like, no, I'm walking on the treadmill. And then there were instances where I'm cycling and it thinks I'm on the treadmill. I'm like, oh, no. Now, the workout detection is nice, but man, it just kept messing up. So CMF, another software issue that y'all need to iron out. Okay? But in regards to the software, guys and gals, that pretty much goes over all of the main things here. And the rest of these things are pretty much self-explanatory. Right? Now, let me go over some of the main issues that I'm having with the software, and then we're going to dive into the companion application. Now, another issue that I'm having with the software is it always gets bumped out of memory, and then it disconnects from my device, and then I don't get my notifications or my phone calls. Okay? And in particular, for phone calls, you have to initiate the phone call on your device first before you can push it over to the watch. So that kind of makes it almost unusable for me unless I start a phone call beforehand and then have it on the watch. The convenient things about being able to take a phone call on the watch is that you should be able to answer and end your phone calls directly from the watch, right? Similar to what you can do on your Apple Watch, okay? You shouldn't have to start the phone call on your phone and then kick it over to the watch. You should be able to get the notification here, answer it here, take the phone call here, and end it here, okay? You can't do that. I can get the notification here, but I still have to pick up my phone to answer it, and then I have to pick up my phone to end it or end it here. I can't initiate it here, take it here, and end it here. So that's another aspect of the software, CMF, that needs to be fixed. And then also that connectivity issue where it keeps disconnecting from my device, that also needs to be fixed. Along with the recommendation of adding a software microphone or digital keyboard so I can respond to messages, that needs to be added. Okay? And then a big issue that I kept running into is that over time, my watch faces seem to be automatically changing themselves. Like over the last couple days or so, I would get up and check my battery percentage only to realize that my watch face has switched. And my watch face color has switched. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Okay? So like this watch face in particular, the digital digits watch face, I have it set like this because I like this look, and this also saves battery because it's a Super AMOLED display. But I've woken up on multiple days to see this set back to the default. So back to the orange and black default that it uses, and then I've also woken up on certain days to see it switched over to a different watch face altogether. And I'm like, what? Now, granted, it switched over to one of my other favorite watch faces, but I'm like, nah, that's not what I had set. And then also, the watch face that it switched over to was back to the default colors. It wasn't to the color that I had set it to. So that definitely sounds like a bug, but that also needs to be fixed. Okay? So, when we talk about the software, it is good, CMF, but you guys definitely got some more work to do. Okay? Definitely. Okay? Now, let's dive into the companion application. Alright? And the connection speed with the companion application needs to be improved, CMF. Especially if it's going to keep randomly disconnecting, it needs to be improved. But talking about the companion application, you can pretty much access 80% of what you can on the watch from the companion application. So this is your main home screen here, okay? And if you wanted to add a different smartwatch, you would hit this plus icon up at the top right, and then you can scan the barcode on your watch here, okay? I might have to gray that out now. That's kind of sensitive. Let's swipe out of that. Have to gray that out now, but let's keep going. You can scan the barcode on the watch, or you can put the watch into Bluetooth mode and pair it up with your phone here. Okay? So let's get out of this. Okay, let me back out of that. And then after you've connected the smartwatch, then all of this information will populate over time. So you can see your calories, your exercise time, your stand time, and your steps. And you can also see your workouts. Now, one thing that I want to mention with the workouts is comparing it to my Apple Watch, there seems to be like a 50 calorie difference. So the CMF Watch Pro 2 generally gets me about 305 calories per workout, depending on the workout, whereas my Apple Watch was generally getting me about 350 or so. So there seems to be like a 50% calorie difference here. So I'm not sure if that's the software or the hardware, but that's another thing that I noticed in terms of exercising. But the sleep tracking here has actually been phenomenal. Okay, so sleep tracking has been phenomenal right there, so that's good. And the heart rate tracking has also been phenomenal as well. Okay, and then moving on to that, you can also start workouts with the built-in GPS from here by tapping this next icon, but I'm not going to tap on that because I don't want to show my location. But you can start your different workouts from the application here, or you can start your different workouts from the exercise application here on the watch. Okay? Now, when you start it from the app, it's going to kick directly into the GPS. Okay? So that's really, really nice right there. Then also, if you want to customize your different watch faces or change different settings, you click on the watch icon here in the app, and that's where you can do so. So from here, you can also see your battery percentage. Okay? Then you got access to your watch faces or your dial gallery. Then you got access to your different exercises. Okay? And you tap on it and you can customize it here. These are my favorite ones that I have customized to the top. Okay. Then you can also add in your contacts. You can change how your health metrics are monitored. So if you want 24/7 heart rate tracking, 24/7 blood oxygen monitoring, stress monitoring, water reminders, stand-up reminders, you can change that from here. Okay, and you can sync your contacts. Now, if you don't sync your contacts, you have to manually enter the numbers. And if you don't sync your contacts, when you're getting a phone call, you'll only see the number pop up on the watch. Okay, if you want to see the names, you actually have to manually sync your contacts or add your contacts via the application. Okay. So I do wish that could be improved, because that happens automatically on your Apple Watch. You shouldn't have to manually do it on the CMF Watch Pro 2. Okay? So another thing I want them to improve. Alright? Then from here, this is how you can customize your widgets or your compilations on your watch faces. Okay? And these are the widgets that I have. Honestly, I use this one the most, followed by that one. So this is a media control, which also tells me my steps and workouts. And then this one tracks my sleep and my heart rate. I use those the most. But you can customize these and take certain ones away that you don't want to show. Okay? But you can only have up to 4. Right? So that's how you change up your widgets. Then, if you want to turn off or turn on certain notifications, you do it from the notification setting here. And you can see you do have access to pretty much all the applications that are on your phone. And if it's not here, you just make sure you turn on the other setting and it will cast it over from your phone. And then also, if you want to sync it up, if you have an iPhone like I do, you can turn on this right here to sync with Apple Health, and then this information will go directly into the Apple Health, and it will sync the information from the watch with your Apple Health application. And I gotta say, that is actually really, really good. So let me show you here. In terms of the Fit, it does sync with the Fit and Apple Health applications really, really nicely, as you can see here. And comparing the two for workouts, as I said, it's really, really close. Now you can see I've done the same workouts with my Apple Watch and the CMF Watch Pro 2. And if we compare the similar times, so we could do the indoor treadmill workout here, you can see that's what we got on the Apple Watch. Okay, 36 minutes. That's what we got. And then if we find the similar workout on the CMF Watch Pro 2, about 35 minutes. So right here, you can see what that difference is. So that's what I'm telling you. The calorie difference between the workouts is about a 50 calorie difference, but it does sync up quite nicely. So that's really, really nice. Okay. Then moving on, jumping back into the application. So that's how you do your notifications. Okay. Getting out of that. Then we can also do our call reminders if you sync up your contacts. We got a world clock. We can do alarms. We got reminders. We got the weather. And this syncs up via the location of your device. Okay. So if you want to get the weather accuracy, you have to have that synced. And then these are your more settings here. So your raise to wake, your do not disturb, your find my device, and your workout detection. And as I said, the workout detection is kind of hit or miss, and it kept messing up for me. So most of the time I pretty much turn it off and I manually start my workouts now because it kind of always messed up for me. But with that being said, that goes over the settings there. Okay. And then another thing that I do feel they improved, and it's a good thing I went into this option because it reminded me, the find my device or find my watch feature. Okay, on the previous generations of the CMF Watch Pro, you had to have the application open, okay, in order to find your watch or find your device. They have improved that to where you don't have to have the application open, but the application does have to be loaded into memory. Okay, so as long as the application is still loaded into the memory on your device, you can find your device or you can find your watch. You no longer need to have the application open on your device in order to use the Find My Device feature. So that is really, really nice, and I'm happy to see that they improved that. Okay, but if the application clears out of the memory on your device, then you will have to reopen the application to sync the memory back to your device in order to use the Find My Device. So if you have a device that has a lot of physical memory and you don't use a lot of applications, it shouldn't get pushed out of the memory on your device often. But if you have a device that doesn't have a lot of memory, that's something that you may want to keep in mind, especially if you lose your device or you lose your smartwatches often. But I'm happy to see that they made that improvement. Okay, really good stuff there. And then last but certainly not least, if we jump into the last settings here, you can add your user account, you can set your goals, you can check for updates on the application. Now, if you want to check for updates on the watch itself, you just come into the main screen and you swipe down, and if there's a notification or an update, it will pop up after you swipe down. But if you want to check for updates on the application, you have to come in here to the profile settings here and tap on check for updates. And this will actually push you out to the Play Store so you can check for the updates, and you can see my particular app is up to date. Okay, and so too is my watch. Okay, let's get back into this. Now, if you want to change your different metrics, you got to hit this settings gear icon in the upper right hand corner. Then you could change your time layout. So you got a 24-hour military time layout, or if you toggle this off, you get a 12-hour standard time layout. Okay, then you can change your units. So you can do your metric system units, or you can do your imperial system units, including your weather, so Fahrenheit or Celsius. So you do that from here in the settings, in unit settings. Okay. And then you can change the theme of the application as well, or you can match it with the default theme of your device. Okay. And then you can also gain access to different user manuals or different contact information from here. Okay, so that's really, really good as well. And that, guys and gals, basically goes over the entirety of the most important parts of the application. And that, guys and gals, goes over the software on the watch as well as the software on the companion application. Okay, So now we went through the hardware and we went through the software, and honestly, overall, I'd have to say the hardware and software integration for the CMF Watch Pro 2 is really good. Not quite top notch, because there are some bugs I feel they need to work out and smoothen over. And once they do so, then it will become a top notch experience. And also, like I said, there are some features I wish they really added. If they add those features, that will make it overall the best affordable smartwatch experience you can get, regardless of whatever device you may have, whether that be Android or iOS. Okay. So, talking about the hardware and the software on the whole for the CMF Watch Pro 2, I'd have to say it's just really good. Okay? Moving on now. Now let's talk about the overall charge times and the overall battery life for the CMF Watch Pro 2. Alright? Now, before we dive into my particular results with my particular usage style, which is based on heavy usage, okay, I want to go over the manufacturer's estimates, and I'll be sure to throw this up on the screen in post. So, CMF is estimating that depending on how you use it, you can get upwards of 45 days of battery life. Now, that 45 days is in battery saver mode or power saver mode, okay? But with regular usage, they're stating that you can get 11 days on a single charge, okay? With heavy usage, which is what I would consider myself to be, they're stating that you can get 9 days on a single charge. And then if you use the GPS often, they're stating that with GPS usage, you can get 25 hours on a single charge. Okay? Now, they're also stating that in terms of charge times, right, the watch should take about 100 minutes to reach a full charge. So that's what, an hour and 10 minutes? Okay? So that goes over the estimates. And then keep in mind here, in terms of the battery, we have a 305 milliamp hour battery. Okay? So that goes over the manufacturer's estimates. Okay? Now, let's get into my particular results based on my particular usage. Now, in terms of the overall battery life, I would have to say that I was getting between 8 and 10 days on a single charge with heavy usage. So that is really, really good. Now, that does fall a few days shy of what I was getting with some of my smart bands, which was upwards of 14 days or 10 days with heavy usage. But that 10-day mark is really, really nice. And especially coming back to the CMF Watch Pro after having to do some more videos on the Apple Watch SE, where the frequency of how much I had to charge the Apple Watch SE was painfully apparent. Because with the Apple Watch SE, I'm either getting a day and a half or 2.5 days, depending on my usage. Whereas with the CMF Watch Pro 2, I'm getting 2.5 days to 10 days, depending on my usage and how I have the watch set up. Okay, so the battery life for me for the CMF Watch Pro 2 is phenomenal. Okay, this is the type of battery life that we should be getting on the minimum with our smartwatches, in my opinion. Okay, and you can see it timed out, and that wasn't even 10 minutes, and now it's going to go back to the 20-second cycle. I just wanted to document that on video. Need to fix these bugs. But jumping back on task, the battery life on this watch is phenomenal. Okay? That being said, let's now talk about the charge times. First things first, CMF. this pogo pin or magnetic style charge pin that you guys are using, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I don't like it. It's cumbersome. It doesn't work all the time, and I've really struggled with it to line it up and charge the watch, as well as to just plug it in and charge the watch in general. It was a struggle, so I really don't like the pogo pin style charger that they implemented here. Now, I understand why they did it, because that type of charger does let them boost their charging speeds, but they really should have implemented something like this using wireless charging, okay, to where you can just drop it on the charging base, or you have like a charging puck and it starts charging, right? No need to fight with any pins or connectors. You just set this up ahead of time, and then when you need to charge it, you just drop it on and it starts charging. Okay? So CMF, I understand why y'all did the pogo style pin charging connector to let you get the fast charging speeds, but no. For smartwatches, you really need to have either your cradle connector, which I also don't like, or you just need to have wireless charging. Yes, I understand that if you put in wireless charging, that's gonna up the price, but that's okay. Put in wireless charging and up the price by like $20 to $30. I'm okay with that, and that still makes you very competitive. But that's one thing about the charging for the smartwatch that I didn't like. I didn't like that for the first generation, and I still don't like that for the second generation here. Okay? But talking about the actual charge times themselves, I pretty much got on average an hour and a half. The fastest time I had was about an hour and 24 minutes. But on average, this watch fully charges in about an hour and a half, which is about the same charging speeds that I get on my daily driver devices. So it's really nice to see that now my smartwatches and my devices charge up at the same time. So when I'm getting ready in the morning and I need to charge my devices before I leave, I just make sure I drop everything on the charger, and then when I'm getting ready, when I need to walk out the door in the morning, I just grab everything off the charger, and I know it's going to be charged up to where I'll be good to go. Okay? So that goes over the charge time for the CMF Watch Pro 2, and that goes over the battery life for the CMF Watch Pro 2. Okay? So, summarizing, the battery life is phenomenal. It is top notch. The charge times are really good. So overall, that means the battery life and the charge times on the CMF Watch Pro across the board, Watch Pro 2, are really good. Okay? Just change the charging style. I need wireless charging, CMF. And we'll be good to go. Okay? So up next now, let's talk about the call quality and the speaker call quality from the onboard microphone. Alright? Now, I've taken a variety of different phone calls with this watch. It is a really good microphone, right? It does work extremely well when you're out on the road, when you're driving and you can't use your phone. It's really nice to take a phone call from your watch. Callers had no issues hearing me. I had no issues hearing them. They were nice and crisp and clear. But I do wish that it got louder, okay? Because in particular, when I'm driving and taking phone calls, now my AC in my car doesn't work. I stay in Florida. It's always hot, meaning I always have to drive with the windows down. That's okay, because I've never had a car where the AC works. So my AC has always been windows. As long as my windows work, I won't die. Okay? So when I take phone calls in the car, 90% of the time, I'm doing it with the windows down, and that was the instances where I wish the speaker got a little bit louder on the CMF Watch Pro 2. Now, don't think that's just for the CMF Watch Pro. I run into the same issue on my Apple Watch. The only difference is with the Apple Watch, it stays clear no matter what. With the CMF Watch, I do have to wind up the windows a little bit because callers did say they can start to hear that wind noise. Okay? So, if the speakers were louder, that would kind of help with the wind noise. But overall, the call quality and speaker performance for the CMF Watch Pro 2 is really good. Does it need some improvements? I can't talk today. Sorry, y'all. Does it need some improvements? Yes. But for what it is really good. Okay? So that goes over the call quality and the speaker call quality for the onboard speaker on the CMF Watch Pro 2. Okay? Now, let's talk about the overall durability of this smartwatch. And as I alluded to earlier, the durability aspects of this smartwatch are top notch, especially with this protective ring that they put here. So in my just under a month of usage, this screen still looks flawless. And even the body of the smartwatch, although it's a little dirty, it still looks flawless. So I have no dings, no dents, no scratches. Everything still looks as if it was brand new. And I have not been taking it easy with this smartwatch, guys and gals. Not at all. Okay? As I said, I'm kind of a gym rat. So I work out often. And I am very clumsy, especially with my disability. So this smartwatch has been banged on desk countertops, banged on doorways, banged on car doors, banged on door frames. And you can see it still looks basically brand new. So the overall durability of this smartwatch right here, I would have to say is top notch. And again, I really do like the addition of this protective bezel shield. And this protective bezel shield, because it gives you a nice raised lip, it's almost like you don't need a screen protector for the smartwatch. Alright? And I actually feel like that's a lot better than what you have on the Apple Watch, because if you want to protect this screen, even though this screen right here on the Apple Watch is very, very durable, but if you want that added protection, then you have to go out and get you one of these protective case watch bands to guarantee that you have that protection. So that's an additional purchase. Whereas the CMF Watch Pro 2, it has that protective shield or protective ring bezel included out of the box. So you don't need to do any additional purchasing unless you want to. Now they do sell these bezels in different colors if you want to mix up the bezels. So if you want to, you can purchase additional bezels, but you don't have to. Okay, so that's really, really nice. And that's just a testament to how good the overall durability of the smartwatch is. Again, top-notch durability on this smartwatch right here. Okay, let's keep it moving now. Now, I want to briefly summarize the positives and the negatives of this smartwatch. Then we're going to talk about the current pricing and availability, and I'm going to give you guys and gals my final thoughts and make an overall recommendation. So, if you watch no other categories from this full review, as long as you watch these next two categories, you should get a really good overall general idea as to how I feel about this smartwatch right here. And disclaimer, I am not perfect and I never claim to be. So if you pick up this smartwatch right here and you experience a positive that I did not mention and or a negative that I did not mention, please leave that feedback down below in the comments. Only through providing our feedback can we get overall improvements on the overall products and devices that we spend our hard-earned money on. And I will have a full list of the positives and a full list of the negatives of this smartwatch thrown up in post, so please feel free to pause the video wherever you see the list that you're interested in, and you should be good to go. Alright, disclaimer done. Let's get into these positives and negatives right here. Let's go. Let's start off with the positives, okay? The overall durability is top notch, okay? The overall battery life is top notch, okay? And yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is available at a really great price. Alright? That goes over all of the positives. Now, jumping over to the negatives, okay? The software. The software is by far the biggest negative of the smartwatch. The bugs and the syncing issues are very, very frustrating. And in particular, I've been getting a lot of comments about watch faces disappearing from the watch and watch faces disappearing from the companion application. So by far, the software is the biggest negative of this smartwatch right here, and it definitely needs some improvements, okay? Definitely. And you do need to add some features. In particular for me, you need to improve the syncing between the application, your device, and the watch. And you need to clean up the bugs and the random disconnects. And I really do feel like you need to add in a digital keyboard so we can use our swipes to respond to messages. And maybe add in a digital microphone button so we can dictate our responses using the speaker on the watch. Okay? Other than that, clean up the bugs and you should be good to go. Alright? So that by far is the biggest negative, the software and the lack of certain key features, all of which are available on your competition, i.e. the Apple Watch right here. And yes, I know the Apple Watch is considerably more expensive, but if you have these features at a lower price point, that makes you more competitive. And don't get it twisted, CMF. If you offer all of the same features as this at $30 cheaper, so you can round this up to $100, you're definitely going to sell a lot more of these and take away sales from this right here. So, yes, a lot of people are going to say, but the Apple Watch is more expensive, so it should have more features. No. If you can pack in more features at a cheaper price point, it's going to be a lot better and you'll get a lot more customers. But that software definitely needs to be improved and those features definitely need to be added. Okay? Also, you need to integrate wireless charging. Okay? It's a lot more convenient and easier to use than the pogo pin style charging connector. Okay? Other than that, you do need to add faster charging. Now, y'all are claiming an hour and 10 minutes, and you can see based on my testing, which was done with fast chargers. In particular, a 100-watt fast charger, I was peaking out at an hour and 25 minutes, at the most an hour and a half, which is really good, but it's not as advertised, and I do wish that it was faster. Okay? So the charging times do need to be improved. Okay? And that, guys and gals, goes over all of the negatives. Okay? And honestly, if I stop and think about it, those negatives are biggies, but I do feel like the positives of the smartwatch do outweigh those negatives. Okay? So that summarizes all the positives of the smartwatch, and that summarizes all the negatives of the smartwatch. Okay? Now let's move on to the final part of this video. Let's talk pricing. Let's talk overall availability. Let me get into sharing my final thoughts and make overall recommendations. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I do have to let everyone know this. This was a product that came into the channel free of charge thanks to the Amazon Vine program. So what does that mean? All I had to do when this came in from Amazon was use the product and write up and submit a full written review to be published on Amazon, and then this product was mine to keep. But as always, I reserve the right to keep it straight 100 around here, and my opinions are not influenced in any way, shape, form, or fashion based on how I receive the product. Okay? So, if I got this product in and it sucked, I would tell you that it sucked and why, and where they need to improve, and why I wouldn't recommend it. Or if I got this product in and I absolutely loved it, I would tell you why I absolutely love it and why I would recommend it. It really doesn't matter how I get these products in. It's all about bringing y'all my opinion and my experience and saving y'all the most money possible. That's what this channel is all about. That's why the slogan is what it is. The best performing devices and products at the cheapest possible prices. That's why it is what it is. Okay? But with that disclaimer out the way, I did do my due diligence and I scoured the internet and I did find this particular smartwatch, the CMF Watch Pro 2, available for about $69. Alright? And if I pull it up on Amazon, and I'll give y'all the screen recording so y'all can see what I'm looking at. I'll throw it up in post. So if I pull it up on Amazon, it is going for $69 flat. Keep in mind that does not include the taxes or your shipping and handling. And it is available in 4 colors. So it's available in the ash gray, which looks kind of white to me. It's available in the blue. I really like the blue. It looks like a royal dark blue. I like that. It's available in this dark gray that y'all see in the video. Now with the included watch band, it kind of looks black to me, but they're calling it dark gray. So this is the dark gray colorway. And then they have an orange colorway. But that orange kind of gives you like a aluminum bezel. Alright? And then you got the orange band. And I actually think that orange actually looks pretty good. Again, check out the screen recording that I'll have thrown up in post. But those are the colors. And regardless of whatever color you go with, it's going to be $69. Keep in mind, that does not factor in shipping and handling and taxes. Now, with that being said, for that price, can I recommend y'all pick up this smartwatch right here? Well, I'm going to have to say yes. Is it the best overall experience? No. Does it need improvements? Oh, yes. But for what CMF is offering here, I really do feel like they have a solid overall products. I really do feel as though they have a solid overall product, and with the right software and support, you're going to get improvements overall. But even further still, without the improvements, because you should always buy your products based on what they offer right now, not on features that are yet to come. What they have on offer right now, I'm sorry everyone, I can't talk today, is really, really competitive and really, really solid overall. And if I just look up real quickly, the first generation CMF watch is actually going for $63. So if you want the newer design with the better display, it's really only gonna cost you $63.69, $3 more. So at that point, I would say, yeah, just spend the $3 extra and get you the more modern smartwatch. Now, with that being said, you do get a bigger battery, which does equate to better battery life in the first generation CMF Watch Pro 2, and you also get a bigger display. Okay? So there is that. So if you want the bigger battery, which equals better battery life, and or you want the bigger display, you can also go with the first generation CMF Watch Pro. And keep in mind, all of the watch bands that I featured on the channel will work across the lineup. So whether you have the first generation or the second generation CMF Watch Pro, it's still going to work with those watch bands. Okay? So, can I recommend that you guys and gals pick up the second generation CMF Watch Pro 2? Yes, I can. But I can also recommend that you guys and gals pick up the first generation if you do want to save a little bit more money. Okay? And with that being said, comparing the CMF Watch Pro 2 to the Apple Watch SE first generation, which one is going to be my daily watch? Now, I'm tempted to lean more towards the CMF Watch Pro 2 for the better battery life, but the integration between the hardware and the software for the Apple Watch SE is just flawless. The handoff between taking phone calls, flawless. The ability to dictate text messages and emails directly from the watch, or responses for different applications directly from the watch, flawless. Does it suffer in battery life? Yes. Do I wish the Apple Watch SE got me similar battery life to the CMF Watch Pro 2? Yes. But for me, I'm going to have to go back to the Apple Watch SE. Okay? When all of my testing is done. Alright? But with that being said, that does it for today's full review. And keep in mind, this was just full review number 1. This was reviewing the CMF Watch Pro 2 from an iPhone user perspective or an iOS user perspective. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the CMF Watch Pro 2 for another 30 days or just shy of a month with my Android device and come back and give y'all another review from a Android device or a Pixel device user's perspective. Okay? So y'all be on the lookout for review number 2 of the CMF Watch Pro 2. Alright? That being said, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys and gals found it helpful. If you did, please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. Also, if you guys and gals would like to see more content like this, also feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. And make sure you click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when new videos go live on the channel. Also, feel free to follow me across all the social media networks. This way you're guaranteed to get notified when new videos go live on the channel, because I do my best to make sure I publish all my videos across all the social media platforms that I'm on. Okay? So, if you don't want to miss a video posting, follow me across all the social media platforms. That being said, today's video was recorded using the primary rear-facing camera on the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus. Today's video was recorded in 1080p at 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. And I am using my professional studio lights here today, so please let me know how you guys feel about the overall video quality, the overall audio quality, and the overall lighting down below in the comments. As always, all your feedback is greatly appreciated. Just remember to keep it respectful, please. That being said, if this video piqued your interest and you would like to know where you can pick up the CMF Watch Pro 2 for yourself, or any or all of the other CMF products that I've covered on the channel, I'll link up all of my affiliated buy links for the CMF Watch Pro 2, as well as all of my extended coverage on all the other CMF products that I've covered on the channel down below in the video description. Okay? So as the name implies, if you guys and gals decide to make your purchase using those affiliate buy links, I do get a small percentage of commission that I do put back into the channel, and that's at no additional cost to you guys and gals. And that does make the video description down below a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, so you should be good to go. Okay? Alright, I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope you guys and gals are staying safe out there, and I will catch everyone in the next video. Have a good one, everybody. We're out of here. Peace. Alright. time to desync this bad boy from my iPhone and sync it up to my Pixel 6a and run the testing all over again. Now, I am a little bit concerned because in terms of connecting with smartwatches, if you have a compatible smartwatch, iOS is a little bit more convenient or compatible for connecting smartwatches, whereas Android is a little bit more restrictive in terms of passing through notifications or syncing up and passing information through, especially on the latest version of Android, which is Android 14. They are very, very restrictive in terms of what they let pass through. Yes, it does add better privacy, but that does have the negative effect of smartwatches or things of that nature that are not Pixel watches or Galaxy watches not syncing up well with Android devices. Okay? So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. I ran across that a few days ago and I was like, well, that's going to make reviewing this on the Android side a little bit more difficult. And that has nothing to do with Pixel. That's an Android feature implemented in Android 14 across the board. Okay? So y'all can't just say, oh, you may want to use a Samsung device, you may have a better experience. No. Or you can't just say, oh, that's what happens when you use Pixel. No. With the release of Android 14, Google is making a bigger push towards privacy and data protection and restricting what things can be connected and passed across is crucial to providing better privacy. Okay? So I'm going to do my best to sync it up and make sure everything syncs up and passes through properly. But that's one thing that I'm kind of fearful of because it was a lot more seamless with my iPhone than I feel it's going to be with my Pixel. And I'm hoping I have a better experience with the second generation CMF Watch Pro than I had with the first generation CMF Watch Pro when we talk about using it with an Android device. But we will see. But I just want to make sure I mentioned that in this first video. But anyways, I made this video way long. It will be timestamped for you guys and gals' convenience. So please feel free to check out the timestamps located down below in the video description if you want to jump around to different parts of the video. Just in case you can't sit down and watch the whole thing in one sitting, check out those timestamps. Anyway, guys and gals, I am out of here. I'll see you guys and gals on the next one. Have a good one. Peace.